So now I've got
Yes,
fraps
setups.
on. I got fraps on, so I'm recording this. It's just going to the track after Talladega. I'm going to pick the default setup here because it'll happen with default my setup or anything. So I'm going to pick the default setup, accept, and edit. So we got that. Let me put the wedge down here to 50. Let me put that up to 100. And that to 2500 to go through the screens. Type A, 100 on the tape. 17.5 on the steering lock. Ride height. We'll take that down a couple notches along with the bump. And the rebound. Move the springs up a little bit. Ride height down. Track bar. So far everything looks good.
I'm going out on the
Nope.
track. Let's see.
I had the wedge set at 50 and I went and changed a few numbers, come back and the wedge is now 44. It is no longer 50. So I'm going to click it and then it goes up in tenths. So I'll set that back to 50, go through the screens again.
I can't believe the steering. I
Better or
cannot believe the
worse?
steering. Well, I'll tell you, I went down the straightaway without a jerk, and it was almost in the middle. I'm splitting the double line, and I'm not even at 1230 going down the straightaway. It is tight as all heck. Force feedback on the damn thing.
And my ride height has changed. It's now 7.8. It was 7.5. My spring 450 and 550. 20, 35. 20, 35. 50, 55. 30, 35.
I lost no speed through turn 1 and 2.
That's good. And my wedge back down to 44 after I change everything.
Lost a mile an hour so far in 3 and 4.
Go to balance again. Those are the same. 30. That's back up to 8 on the ride height. I had 7.5.
Ride height a little bit. I'm hitting.
Now the wedge is at 43.8 when I go back to it. Go back here. Reverse the order. Everything's the same. Looks like most of the numbers are staying the same except for the wedge. There it's at 50. There it stays at 50. So what do I change that causes the wedge to change? We're going to do the bump. Take the bump up to 35.
Gotta make the bump higher.
Well, I'm just checking. Bump, if I move that up, the wedge stays the same. The rebound, I'm taking that down to 45. Go back to the wedge, it stays the same. Ride height, taking that down to 5.5. The wedge changes. Okay, I put the wedge back to 50. That's still at 5.5. I'll do the spring. I'll do that at 1150. And the wedge is the same. The ride height is at 7.5 on the rear left. I'll take that back down to 7.5 because that changed. And the wedge has changed to 47.5. So we got the wedge, and the ride height is now 7.7. Wedge and the ride height are intermixed. I'll take the ride height in the front left, move it up to 6, and the wedge is now 41.6. So they still don't have it.
49.51, and I gotta
Take the camber.
change. They changed. Okay, this is, you get the boat in there if you want to change the track or quit or anything.
No, it's
Back.
fine. I'm
Edit current.
actually just doing this. That's changed. I'm just doing this so I can make a video of it, like I say. Caster in the front left. Oops, wrong way. That's the same. Cold pressure to 30. Wedge has changed to 50.8 now. Just going back and forth, not hitting any buttons. Just moving screens and everything stays the same. Take the rebound down to 40. That stays, the wedge stays. The spring down to 1100. Wedge stays. Bump up to 40. Wedge stays. Ride height up to 6.5 on the front left, and the wedge changes. So the ride height and the wedge are somehow mixed together. You change one number and it's making changes in the other. So they got the code on that still messed up. But it looks like most everything
I
else
just
is
raised
okay.
my ride height. Yeah, I raised my ride height on the right front. My wedge